Deltarune tomorrow? More like Deltarune my ass. I'm not letting Toby Fox release this chapter anytime soon. I won't even be able to play it. But why, you may be asking? Well, for a little context. Man, I really would love to spend my summer vacation somewhere nice for a relatively cheap price with no tricks nor strings attached, obviously. Hey, it's me, the entire country of Turkey, and, well, I think I got just the right deal for you, my friend. You get the best, fanciest, prettiest hotel with all the attractions and tours for a really, and I mean really cheap price. No strings attached. Wowee, that sure sounds like a bargain. You got yourself a deal. Just kidding, the deal happens throughout the 21st to the 28th of June. I don't see why that could possibly be a bad thing, but sure thing. Oh come on, my favorite anime's 3-episode theatrical event is gonna start on the 25th. Talk about bad luck. Oh come on, the perfect opportunity to start a longer lasting Minecraft server with my friends is gonna have to wait, because it's not worth to start one for 4 days and then wait for an entire week. Talk about bad luck. Oh come on, Father's Day is on the 23rd of June, and I'm gonna be out of country. Talk about bad luck. Well, at least it can't get any worse than this. I'm just gonna watch some YouTube. Oh come on! Deltarune Chapter 5. That's right folks, it's here, including its very own trailer. Which, by the looks of it, looks to have a dark world revolving about nature this time. And by nature, I mean flowers, petals, Goku new birds, sakura trees blooming, and Japanese temples. So, just a huge nature theme with a little bit of Japanese theme sprinkled in there.
Nothing like a sword fight under the cherry blossoms.
But with that being said, I still need to finish Chapter 4, because if some of you remember, last year on my birthday, we streamed the entirety of Chapter 3, and the halfway mark of Chapter 4. And that's where we left off. So today, consider this video a recap of the second half of Chapter 4 before Chapter 5. So without further ado, join me, as within less than a week I'm going to have the biggest FOMO experience of my entire life. Let's finish Deltarune Chapter 4 before the country of Turkey kidnaps me. Before we can actually begin, we need to see where exactly we left off. An accident in these walls. Why is Bonley calling me? Oh my... Hello?
So, I heard you're streaming.
No.
I don't know if that's true right now, but I heard you're streaming.
Yeah, there's a possibility that I am. Why?
Are you playing Deltarune?
Possibly.
Start reading the fucking dialogue!
Huh. Seems like we were having a fun time. Cool. After booting up the game, I was instantly reminded that I was taking too long by Mr. You're taking too long, Jackenstein, who tells us to go through the middle door, where, upon going through it, we encounter our first few prophecies that mention the Roaring Night. And hey, would you look at that, speak of the devil, he's right over there. So we start chasing after him, by climbing the second longest ladder I've ever seen, right after the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater ladder scene. You know, I'm starting to think that Toby Fox was looking for some inspiration in other games for Chapter 4. After remembering the controls at the worst time possible and barely surviving on 1 HP, the knight hits us with the biggest aura farming pose I've ever seen and proceeds to hit us with the Deltarune RP demo treatment. After his escape, I noticed that this lever looks oddly enough like the Roaring Knight, and then that the glass floor Deltarune pattern looked like the lever, which clearly means the Roaring Knight is the Deltarune. You're welcome, Game Theory. We later proceed to get baited into thinking that the game ends here and that my recording will only be 8 minutes long. But we seal the fountain and we quickly find out there's yet another dark fountain. Phew, Crisis averted. Problem, we can't get to it because of this very strong door with a combination lock on it. So, we take a look around to find the code to the lock. We unconsensually look through the church in hopes of finding the code to the lock, but we find out that, dude, there's a glass case in here, and also dramatically find out that the old man is dead. And yet, no code in sight. We still have a problem though. We apparently can't get through the door because there's a lock on the door, and you know, kicking the door down takes a little too much effort. So, what do? A. Keep looking for the code. B. Guess the code. C. Break the door down. D. Try to find another way to get inside. If you guessed create a dark world using Chris's edgy knife collection, then you were right on the money because that's exactly what we did. We created a dark world and slowly got eaten up in the darkness and made our way inside, where we find out we accidentally created a JoJo reference by switching up the color palette. We walk through the corridor of Toby Fox bangers to find ourselves in front of more prophecies about the end of Deltarune. Jeez, spoiler alert. Kinda makes me think that Toby Fox took some literature class just to write these bangers. We soon enough have our first enemy encounter with these wing glade things. Guess the reference. They're winging their They weren't too difficult. All we had to do was spin around a bunch and realize that I have a massive skill issue after not playing Deltarune for an entire year. But regardless, we pushed forward. After yet another prophecy about a foreshadowing looking Pokemon, turns out I am a prophet myself because I prophesize right. Thanks to Toby's literature class adventures, we have philosophy in Deltarune, as well as Hollow Knight, apparently. A lot of game collaborations this chapter. I mean, chapter 5 looks like the lush caves from Minecraft, and Deltarune kinda looks like Undertale if you think about it. Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, later on we go on to find out that we're in one of these prophecies. Kind of like finding out we're in a YouTube video or on Google Earth. But also reading that the prophecy says I have a huge skill issue. We find out that Tenna is referred to as the Lord of Screens by the prophecy, which calling this showman a lord of anything is an exaggeration. So anyway, Susie starts having an existential crisis because of the prophecies. Not really, she just runs around looking to find out what happens in the next one. Kind of like how you guys were expecting a part 2 a year ago, but it had to take an entire year for you guys to get one. But as she runs off, we find out why I love the dialogue in this game so much, and also find out how me and Susie share the same elementary school problems. How nice! After climbing to the tippy top, Toby Fox gives us a nice blast to the past with a lot of Undertale references, including the Judgment Hall, with puns that this guy from Earthbound would make, the old attack meter used in the combat against this Bell Lady, as well as the story of Undertale. Twice. We find ourselves running, or should I say climbing away once again, but this time from a Bleach reference where I find out that Chris got the moves and that Susie makes for a great rocket launcher. After climbing back up for the 50th time this video, we find ourselves back to the start of the video, but this time everything is blocked by small inconvenient furniture. After realizing I probably missed the Hammer of Justice segment somewhere, we descend into Darkrune, where it turns out that Gerson Boom can no-clip. And inside of Darkrune, you're forced to play rhythm games with supposedly Gerson Boom himself, and also see Chris pull off this immaculate parry.
Royal Guard!
As it turns out, Gerson Boom is actually Gerson Fake. Luckily though, we're saved by none other than Rolsey himself, who explains that Gerson Fake is actually just some kind of statue, and proceeds to get on my evil radar because even a year later, I still think Rolsey is evil. I just can't prove it. He's even making himself look like the victim. Guys, come on. So anyway, Rolsey's secretly trying to keep the end of the prophecy away from Susie and asks us to let him go first, so that we don't see it. The gang makes up and we proceed with the adventure, and find out that Rolsey knows Jackenstein. And that Rolsey's prophecy knowledge is absolutely useless. Until we encounter this guy, who knows everything, and gave us the code to the door. Crisis averted for the second time today. Great job, guys. We seal the fountain and head back into the light world. Open the door, jump back in, where we find ourselves in front of the door that the knight was standing behind. Before we head in, Rolsey susses me out again by making us waste time doing a pose and making us do another JoJo reference. We buy some healing items from Gerson's store without Gerson, and make our way through the door, where we spot the Dark Fountain, calling us from afar. We run our way through to the fountain, dodging flying books and more Bleach references, as well as discovering Discord Dark Mode. We discovered that pianos were actually featured actors in the Fast and the Furious movies, and almost make it to the fountain, except there's this tower blocking our way. That would be too simple. To extend the gameplay time, the Roaring Knight decided to make things a bit harder for us. Lucky for us, Mr. You Are Taking Too Long hates waiting, so he took matters into his own hands. Unlucky for us, the Roaring Knight loves making Undertale references. Just kidding. Lucky for us, we have the power of friendship and impatient people, so we were able to easily scale the rest of the tower without any more Undertale references by becoming a trampoline. As the suspense starts to kill everyone, the reoccurring motive of this chapter, known as Deltarune, appears once again, this time without any rhythm games, but unfair tactics from the knight, shooting out his blades from the darkness, bringing us despair and loss. Maybe the end of the prophecy was here, and the three heroes stuck in darkness, waiting to be consumed by dark, and the knight attaining his victory. Except when all hope was lost, Chris remembered that he was subscribed to the Brightness channel, and that even though it's spelled incorrectly, B4IGHTN3SS still means brightness, and channeled his inner Brightness channel, and turned into Brightness himself. The three heroes started pushing forward with the power of brightness on their side, dodging the knight's futile attempts at stopping them in their path. This is exactly why you should subscribe to the Brightness channel, Jesus man. The three Brightness channels eventually make it past the knight's attacks, using each other to tank and shield themselves from the incoming attacks. They run up the collapsing stairs behind them, and there he is. The Roaring Knight, after what the heroes thought was the end for the knight. Nowhere to run, finally able to confront him, he began laughing. This wasn't the end for the knight. No, this was just the beginning for him. Jeez, 5? The Roaring Knight became the offer of Attack on Titan, and we needed to stop him. We started climbing the tower in hopes to win this race against time, in hopes to stop the Titan before it's too late. The tower, cracking and breaking apart, spewing out with Bleach references. The eyes born from the tower crying Minecraft bucket worths of tears to weigh us down. Chris climbed the tower as if he learned everything from Naked Snake himself. At last, the peak of the tower. After jabbing the eye a couple of times, we landed safely, buying us some time to waste time making conversation. Rose tells us that if the Titan is anything like the Dark Fountain, Chris could try sealing it. But then, the Titan found us because we didn't start running the second we had an opportunity to do so. But opportunities do come back, and we find an opportunity to jump back on the tower. But before we can do that, the Fetus Squad is born. The enemy encounter introduces us to the Brightness Channel mechanic that allows us to consume dark enemies with Chris's Brightness Channel powers by the use of consuming TP and flashing them away after collecting enough of it. We jump down and the chase continues. Constant downpour and rain of darkness falls upon the heroes, whilst it also chases them from below. After a long, terrifying climb for the billionth time today, we make it to the top. Susie heals us from our injuries with her amazing Dragon Ball Z healing attack. We eventually make it to the edge of the cliff, where we're surrounded by a sea of darkness and Bleach-referenced eyeballs. Until it turns out, we're actually playing the Unseen Ending Revenge Papyrus Act 3, who is apparently very shy and is hiding behind not only a set of wings, as well as a star. This is the Titan fight. This boss took me almost 2 hours to beat, as well as took over a terabyte of my hard drive to record this. The boss uses the Brightness Channel mechanic throughout the fight to make it collect TP from unborn fetuses in order to flash it and hit its weak point. It also used the power of amazing Toby Fox bangers to flash my ears with "How have I lived my entire life without this song?" The problem with this boss fight is that it not only drains your health bar, but it also drains you mentally by giving you more items each time you die. and in order to progress, you need to keep your 3 amigos alive all at once in order to cast the flashing brightness spells. About halfway through, my girlfriend, who was watching me suffer throughout this entire boss fight, gave me a great idea to take a break, and so I did, by saying, oh yeah, let me just go buy some more items then. Remember those collapsing stairs I mentioned earlier? Yeah, those collapsing stairs that were used to go buy items. No breaks for me then. After you eventually beat it up enough, it'll go back into hiding and finally end the Oh, well, that sucks. It heals. Using fetuses. Well, to be fair, it is one of the hardest boss fights in all of Deltarune, so I can't imagine it would be that easy. That's right, Gerson Boom is now Gerson Real. Gerson Boom got real and decided to help us out and join in on the fight against the Titan from Attack on Titan. And to finish things off, with cherry on top, Susie pulls off an amazing, impeccable LeBron James using Chris as the basketball. We did it. Sadly, we did not beat the offer of Attack on Titan, but we did beat the Attack on Titan. Rose was there too, but I was too focused on trying to find a save point that I skipped over his dialogue, which eventually leads to Susie finding out about how the prophecy ends. That's right, she was hit with the spoiler alert. The spoiler alert that breaks the disco mode filter, and apparently breaks her hand open too. We head on over to the Dark Fountain after Rose has an emotional bruh moment, and we steal the Dark Fountain with an epic ending guitar riff. We wake up in the abandoned church at the other side of the door. We make our way over to Chris's house where we find whatever the f this is. Susie gets weirded out, evacuates herself out, while Chris suffers to fall asleep, with the soul crying for mercy with flashbacks from the end of chapter 1 flashing before its eyes. But luckily, Susie breaks back into the house and stops them both with what probably means some straight up facts, but I don't speak Sicilian. But if anyone does, let me know. I would love to know what she said to Sans and Toriel. Chris gets so hyped up by this information, he starts doing isometric exercises by the window. But before he can finish, John Roaring Knight gives him a call, ending off chapter 4. So that was all for Deltarune Chapter 4 recap, or the finishing Deltarune Chapter 4 before the country of Turkey kidnaps me thing. Luckily, I did not in fact get kidnapped yet. I am still here, working on this very video. Yep, that's me. Jokes aside though, I really enjoyed making this video. I missed playing Deltarune a lot, and I definitely forgot how much I absolutely loved this game for what it is. And this time, I won't forget about the part 2. I probably won't be able to stream it on the premiere though, since I'll be out of country. But if you guys would like a video like this one instead, let me know. Or a stream instead, then let me know about that as well. But it's going to be slightly delayed since, you know, Turkey. But it's up to you guys. But that's about all the time I have for today. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. And if you didn't, well then you don't have to. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you.